From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. Check out TicketBash.com for some great flyaway packages, including Jets versus Dolphins in Miami and Giants Falcons in Atlanta. Sports Bash is also presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, a group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than just going to college. For more information, visit www.lookwhomadeit.org. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage, right down the road from us here at the Governor's Comedy Club. Every customer is considered family at the Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal. By Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. They're also available for charity auctions. Give Warren a call at 516-826-4000. By Bearcat Billing Service, your trusted partner in medical billing. Experience the Bearcat way, personal, professional, and tailored to your needs. Give Gary a call at 516-796-2400 and tell him Sports Bash sent you. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media, the third annual Evening of Thanks Gala tonight at the Bourne Mansion in Oakdale. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. Well, hi again, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. Phone number to call on the program is 516-465-3990. That is the number to call. Make sure you're subscribing to Govs Comedy Club podcast on YouTube so you can get alerts to new shows and all the shows here on the Governor's Comedy Club YouTube podcast channel. And you can also comment along during the show if you're a little bashful to call a sports talk show. You can always just comment on the YouTube page, so you can do that. Coming up later on the show, we'll talk to SNY contributor Anthony McCarron about the baseball postseason. We're also going to talk to Western Connecticut State head football coach Joe Loth about a very special game that will take place on Saturday in memory of a former coach. And we'll also have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. This segment of the show is presented by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. And don't forget to mention Sports Bash. Get that free, delicious dessert with your meal. Before I get to my in-studio guest, a little game I'd like to play with the viewers and the listeners to the show. Found this sweatshirt in the closet this morning. And I don't have a prize to give away, but just a pat on the back if you want to comment or call the show, or maybe our guests will know what shirt I'm wearing. But if you can guess the name of the shirt, again, I don't have, maybe Tony Walker's got a T-shirt we can give out. No, I'm just kidding. But a nice pat on the back from the host would be appropriate if you know the team of the sweatshirt that I'm wearing. It's always great when the area has a brand new sports franchise. And here on Long Island, we are blessed to have, of course, the Islanders playing at UBS Arena. We've got the Long Island Ducks out in Suffolk County. And now we're going to have a brand new professional basketball team that's going to call Suffolk County home. They are the Suffolk County Stingrays of the brand new ABA. And their CEO, Eric Boyd, and head coach, and you'll know his name from his college basketball and NBA days, Danielle Marshall, are both in studio with us here on Sports Bash. Thank you guys for making the schlep from Suffolk County here to our studios.
Thank you for having us.
Same here. Thanks for having us.
Let me start with Eric first, because listen, I know from being in this business a long time what kind of a project it is to get a sports franchise off the ground. Can you kind of tell us how this all came to be and about your group, Sunrise Sports and Entertainment, bringing professional basketball to Long Island, joining another team? Obviously, the Long Island Nets are around the G League. They play in the Coliseum. But what's it been like for you trying to put this franchise together?
It's been a lot. There's a couple of teams out here that are too favorable for having a new team. But we don't want to talk about that. But as far as Sunrise Sports Entertainment, we started in the high school situations to where we started back in 2020 to where we wanted to bring all the high schools from other states on the Christmas break to play against each other. So we hosted a game in Atlantic City with teams from Delaware, Maryland, some Brooklyn teams came down to play at Atlantic City. It was pretty good. So we also hosted a turkey bowl in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Cyclones Stadium. So once we were into the sports situation, this kind of fell into our lap and saying, hey, you never know, you can have a professional team and see how it works. So I spoke to Joe Newman, who's the president of the league, spoke to his daughter. They kind of convinced me to try it. So I jumped in with both feet and hands, and so far so good. We've been lucky to get a great coach, Danielle Marshall, who came along just in time because we didn't have a coach. So when I met with him, he felt good about the meeting, and he decided to say, you know what, this feels good. I'm going to try it and see how it feels.
And Danielle, you've obviously experienced everything in the world of basketball, from your great career at UConn to playing in the NBA for 15 seasons. So to take on this opportunity to be the head coach of the Suffolk County Stingrays, how excited are you about this?
Definitely very excited. I retired in 2009 from playing in the NBA, and then my first year out, I did the pre- and post-game show for the Sixers. When I did it,
we don't like the Sixers around here. I mean, especially after
I'm
that
from
playoffs.
Philadelphia area. I grew up. That's who I still root for and stuff.
I'm sorry.
So, but
we had a nice playoff series against the Knicks last year. I'm just kidding.
So after that, I started coaching in college. I did that for a year. Then I coached in the G League for the Boston Celtics G League team.
The main Celtics now, right?
Yeah, they were the main Red Claws when I coached them. Now they're the main Celtics. Went back into college. Was fortunate enough, I was with a very good Buffalo team who had Nate Oates, the head coach of Alabama, was there. We made the tournament. I parlayed that into becoming the head coach at Central Connecticut State. I was there for 5 years. Things didn't work out there. After 5 years, we basically didn't renew contract. Then I've been in the G League for 3 years. And then I've been home, back here on Long Island for a couple months. Started doing personal training. Mutual friend. I walk into the gym one day. He was like, "You want to be a head coach again?" I'm like, "Of course I do." He's like, "I got an opportunity for you." I sat down with Eric and a couple other people. I went home and sat on it for like a week or two, and then felt like it was a good opportunity, and now we're here.
What was it about this opportunity that struck you and got the juices flowing again to want to get on the court and be on the sidelines again?
Like I said, I've been coaching the last 3 years. Being an assistant and being a head coach are two totally different. I think for me to be able to run the team, have pretty much all the say-so into who I wanted to be on the team as far as from tryouts and, watching film, to be able to pretty much, Eric lets me run my program, let me do everything that I want to do. Unfortunately, guys have jobs, so we practice late at night. Like tonight, we practice at 9:30 at night, so I won't get home until like 11:30, 12 o'clock. But that's fine. I do this because I love it, and hopefully help the kids get to where they want to be. But just to become a head coach and being able to run it the way I want to run it is what was appealing to me.
Eric, I like the way you run a sports franchise because you let the coach do his job. You get out of the way. I wish you could, buy the Jets. I mean,
that would be nice.
That would be nice. So you could get.
That would be nice.
I don't like the owners that meddle unless they just hire the right. My opinion has always been it starts at the top.
Right.
So you hire the right people, you stay out of the way, and you let them run it. And so I'm curious what struck you, what attracted you to Danielle? Obviously, he's got the resume, both coaching and playing. So what were some of the intangibles that stuck out for you about Danielle to make him the first coach of the Stingrays?
Well, he did say that he was familiar with the league, and it's one of his family members that did play in it. So we felt like that was a plus because he understands what the league is about. The league is about kids coming in that couldn't get an opportunity to play in Division II or Division I or whatever, and get an opportunity to bolster to make their ability and good film to where we can send it to an agent, and the agent can shop you around either overseas or maybe go to the G League. Because he understands what the league is about.
I better stop my phone there from the...
Yeah, So basically, the ABA is basically there to help individuals because there's a lot of basketball. Basketball is international. So there's a lot of kids that go overseas and come back. And when they're coming back from overseas, they sit at home and they watch TV all day, or they get a job somewhere else. So we're feel like we're in the position to say, fine, we got a great coach who understands the situation. He's going to train you. He's going to give you the tutelage to get to where you want to be, due to the fact that you wasn't there before. I've seen some of his practices, and he does a lot of situations that are very, very professional compared to the kids that just play summer ball, just to be out there. He's not just standing there on the sidelines. He's giving instructions, and the kids are learning how to play the basketball game, to where if they were to go overseas, they will be disciplined and listening to a coach.
Eric Boyd, the CEO of the Suffolk County Stingrays, and their head coach, Danielle Marshall, my guests here on Sports Bash as the Stingrays are getting ready for their first season in the ABA. You'll be playing most of your home games at Stony Brook, but the first home game on January 18th is at SUNY Farmingdale. They have a great facility there as well. So you have to feel fortunate that you are playing in these the Stony Brook's arena is magnificent.
Yes.
To be able to play in those two. It really is. So did you feel like that was when you're starting a team, obviously finding a home venue has to be one of the most difficult things to do, and you lucked out, really, I would think.
I did know about Stony Brook from going. I went to SUNY. I'm a little older now, but when I went to SUNY and we played Stony Brook, that arena wasn't there yet. And so I guess it was redone, and they fixed everything over. And then when I came back to the Suffolk County area, when we were trying to do the high school situation, we were trying to get Section 11 and Section 8 to play in the arena, but they already have done that. So we wanted to bring the other persons or kids from other states to see how much of a jewel that arena is. It's a 4,000-seater jewel that's in a public school system that is great to play in. Kids can learn from, get a feel of professionalism, and like I said, with our coach, who's showing them the right way to play basketball, they can take them overseas. They can go to a coach and look like they want to learn because they were taught by a great coach.
Danielle, what is your type of player? What did you look for in putting this roster together? And if you want to share, 2 or 3 of the players that you're excited that the Long Island fans will get a chance to see this year.
To be honest with you, it was probably a difficult process just because we got going a little bit later than a lot of teams. I know that before I got on, we were supposed to have tryouts a couple times, but I guess because we didn't have a coach, we didn't have situations, things got moved back. And our first tryout, we had 8 players at our first tryout, and I went home, was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine, and we made this joke. I mean, you're probably old enough from our age to remember the movie called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I love that movie.
So remember the tryouts at the beginning where you had the clowns and everybody?
It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh.
So, like, I kind of went home and laughed, and I was like, our tryouts was kind of like the same tryouts of The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Did you bring in a lady to do horoscopes too?
So it was funny because on the way here, I texted that same group, and I told them that we were going to be on the podcast if they watched it. They all started sending films of The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. So that has been the joke from the first practice. But then the second tryout, we actually had about 20 people, and the talent got better. And then we had a third tryout, and I went home and I was like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, I think we're going to be a little bit better than I thought we were going to be. We're still finding pieces to put it in because, again, it's difficult. Like, I understand that people have jobs outside of ours. That's where they're going to. That's where they make their most money, right? But I also feel like I want people who are going to be committed to us, right? Because I think the thing that's going to be unique about our situation is not only do you have me, who is a former NBA player, but a former coach in the G League. Somebody that if the G League or people overseas want to call, I think I have the credentials to really help these people, right? Then we have a player, Terry Roberts, local player, played at Georgia, was with the Long Island Nets.
I remember him from last year, yes.
So he's playing with us, right? So people want to know, the Long Island Nets, other G League teams want to know how he's doing. So he's going to be playing with us. He's going to bring those people to come watch, right? We have Mike Alamansi, right? He was in the Knicks G League tryouts. So we have people on our team who has been in the G League where there's GMs and those scouts are going to come watch us play. We have a unique situation when it comes to that. And that's why, like, I feel like our team is going to be okay. Like, we like I said, we still have a couple spots we're trying to fill. And I think if we can fill those with the right people over the next week or two, I think we actually have a chance to be really good.
Now, you have to find the right coach, Eric, which certainly sounds and appears that you did in Danielle Marshall. And now he's finding the right players to put a winning team. But you have to look good when you're a professional sports team, right? Yeah, I mean, it's all about the look and the swag, right? At least my kids say that. And you brought your game jersey.
Well, that's the practice jersey.
This is the practice jersey, but the logo and the colors pop out. Tony, if we can get a shot at the Stingrays jersey. So this is the practice jersey, but the logo is fantastic. How did you guys come up with? First of all, how did you come up with Stingrays, and then who designed the logo?
Yeah, it was that was a funny situation. I went to the Bahamas.
And you didn't bring me? You didn't bring anybody else along?
Oh my God! A couple of years ago, and I went to the Atlantis. You know that big resort?
Yeah. Okay.
And I saw the tank, and the tank had sharks, and they had stingrays. So I said, "Oh, it stayed in my brain." So when I come out to Long Island, I couldn't say the whales, I couldn't say the sharks because that's already Suffolk County. So I remember being in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, and saw the tank that had the stingrays and the sharks swimming together. So we said stingrays.
I like it. Are you a fan of the logo? Do you like it?
I like it. That's why I keep texting Eric and asking when the link is going to go up, because my CrossFit brothers who are waiting to come to the game, they're waiting to come. They want their gear. I have a group of fantasy football we play. Tom, Cole, Pete, another Tom, Adam, my girlfriend's friends, Laura and Kate and Janan and Caroline, they're all ready to come. Like, they want their gear. They want to come. They're coming to support. And, like, that's why I feel like, we're going to have a unique situation. I know, like, for us playing in Stony Brook, a lot of the other teams that I see, they're playing in the YMCAs. They're playing in small high schools. Like, I think that's the thing that's good for us. And I think, like I've told Eric, is like we have people that are ready to come and watch. I mean, our CrossFit
will there be a 4X? Will there be something in a 4X?
4X will be there.
You got. I just want to make sure I get taken care of.
I got
special order.
I have a 4X too, right?
Yeah, it's amazing that sometimes it's difficult for the big guys to find some of the swag. Yeah, it's a whole process. Danielle, I just wanted to go back a little bit since you're here, and I mentioned before the long career you had in the NBA, but it all started from a national perspective for you at UConn and having those great seasons that you had there. When you think back to it, how important were those years for you at UConn, and how it shaped the rest of your basketball career?
I think they were very important. I think a lot of people don't realize. It's funny being here in New York now. I get a lot of people messing with me. One, because I was going to commit to Syracuse.
Okay.
Right. I wanted to commit there early because Billy Owens is from around my area in Pennsylvania. So he's a little older. That's who I grew up idolizing and stuff. I was going to sign with Syracuse. My mom wasn't really a fan of Jim Boeheim. She thought he was a little too lenient. She wanted to have somebody who was going to be like more structured, more on me when she wasn't around. That's pretty much how I committed to UConn. Calhoun, I remember being on my official visit. They lost the exhibition game the night before, and they ended up having like a 4-hour practice. And I was just like, I don't think I can do this. But for me, it ended up being the best thing.
Big East Player of the Year, 93, 94.
That's what I'm saying. It helped me grow. Yeah. I also I wanted to go to a team because if you look at my freshman year, they had a player named Chris Smith, who's the all-time leading scorer at UConn. My sophomore year, Scott Burrell was the guy. So I didn't want to necessarily be the man right away. I wanted to be able to learn because everywhere I've been a late bloomer. So I felt that was the right situation for me. And then junior year had a lot of great games. One that I get a lot of slack for around here is the games against St. John's.
And they're going to be back on top now soon with Patino. He's doing a great job.
He's doing a heck of a job. If you look at the 3 toughest games UConn had in conference play last year were against St. John's. Yeah. He's doing a heck of a job, and I think between UConn and Marquette and Creighton and St. John's, the Big East is starting to get back on top.
Do you like the landscape of college sports now with the portal and and the money and all that stuff that's going on. It's a completely different landscape in college sports.
It's totally different landscape. I think I don't have a problem with the NIL because I felt that was something that I've always felt that should have been there. Like, I do sit back and right before we came in, I got a text about the quarterback from Miami, how he bought his whole lineman diamond necklaces and diamond chains and stuff. So obviously he's making a lot of money. And I think back to when I played where I could barely get, food on the side. But these players deserve it. I think the biggest problem I have is probably the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I think that needs to get under control a little bit.
It's like chaos.
It's definitely a chaos. And I also feel like it's hurting high school kids, because like, a lot of teams aren't even recruiting high school kids anymore. They're recruiting the portal, and high school kids are becoming secondary. And so you're getting really good players that are going down to Division II and Division III.
And that's in every sport. It's not just in basketball.
Exactly.
It's all over the place.
Exactly, right? And stuff. But I just think again, I feel like you should have the freedom to be able to transfer, but I think it just needs to get under control a little bit.
Eric, let me close with you. Obviously, again, congratulations on forming the Suffolk County Stingrays. For people who want to get ticket information and schedules and all that stuff, and and find out about the latest about the Stingrays, how can they do that?
They can go to our website. It's the abastingrays.com, and we have a website there. We have an Instagram page at Stingray. Yes,
I think it's ABA Stingrays, right?
Yeah, ABA Stingrays. Yeah, and there are links. We'll have our links on there. We're hooked up with Ticket Bash to where we can have our tickets on certain avenues, as far as Ticketmaster, Vivid, SeatGeek, whatever he hosts on his.
You're talking about Vinny Tickets, the CEO of Ticket Bash, right? Partners with the Stingrays.
Yes.
Well, I can't thank you both enough for coming in, and congratulations. Best of luck. I can't wait to come out and see a game. Hopefully sporting some Stingray swag. If you can sew a few shirts together, that'll fit me.
Can I try to name that team?
Oh, yeah, name the team.
Hudson Valley Renegades.
That is incorrect.
Oh, okay. That's
well,
right.
I could tell now. It's we're friends. It's the New York, New Jersey Hitmen from the XFL.
Oh, close.
Back in 2000, I was their radio announcer in 2001.
Okay.
So that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. But I know they sold a lot of merch, so you guys got a great logo.
Yeah, the merch is coming.
You're going to do well with that.
Yeah, the merch is coming.
Thank you guys very much for coming in. Enjoy. Looking forward to coming to a game.
Thank you
for having us.
Still more to come on Sports Bash. Coming up next, I'm going to be joined by SNY contributor Anthony McCarron. It's a busy offseason coming up for the Yankees, the Mets, and all of Major League Baseball, and Anthony is going to join me to talk about it when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,500 families, raising over $43 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $6,700 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 76 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17, And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyWyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. I'm Peter Schwartz. This segment of Sports Bash is presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, a group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than college. For more information, visit www.lookwhomadeit.org. Want to say congratulations to David Cohen on X and Twitter. He's at 9 on Twitter. He won an Islanders item from our friends at FE Apparel. Thanks again to Terrence Toe from FE, who joined us on Tuesday's show. FE has a great new line of NHL apparel. Don't forget you can use the code BASH25 at checkout for 25% off your order at fe-apparel.com. Once again, thanks to Eric Boyd and Danielle Marshall from the Suffolk County Stingrays for joining me on the first segment. Now we switch gears and talk baseball hot stove. The offseason well underway, and joining me via Zoom to talk about what the Yankees and the Mets and the rest of Major League Baseball might do this coming offseason that we're currently in is my good friend Anthony McCarron from SNY. He's an SNY contributor, and he joins us here on Sports Bash. Anthony, it's Peter. How are you? It's going great. Thanks for taking some time out and joining us. As we get this baseball postseason underway, I mean, there's been, a couple of, moves by the locals, but obviously, the big elephant in the room is the Juan Soto sweepstakes. And one of the great things for me about doing this show is that I am not subject to the embargo that Boomer and Gio have on WFAN, not being allowed to talk about Juan Soto until something happens. So I can bring that up here. So I'm going to ask you right off the bat, look into your crystal ball, or what's the latest right now, and how you see this Juan Soto sweepstakes turning out. Us as we get this baseball postseason underway. Mm-hmm. Right. I wonder, I don't know how you feel about it. This is how I look at it. I think if he winds up just going to the highest bidder, I agree with you. I think he's going to the Mets. I think Steve Cohen will write the biggest check. There's no doubt in my mind that would happen. The only way I see him going back to the Yankees is if he says to his agent, Scott Boras, look, I loved my year with the Yankees. We went to the World Series. Maybe it's the start of something big. I want to be a Yankee. Go get it done. And then they go to Hal Steinbrenner and say, this.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Peter. One of the things that's also to me so interesting about this contest is, does Juan Soto want to end up in Monument Park? Does that mean anything to him? Or does he want to, on the other hand, does he want to be the greatest position player that the Mets have ever had on their team? Which, if he signs a long-term deal with the Mets and produces at anything like the level he has in his career, he'll be their greatest position player within a few years, and would go into the Hall of Fame as a Met. Blah blah blah. If things keep going that way, I don't think we know enough about Juan Soto to know whether either of those things mean anything to him. I know they mean something to fans. And I know you think that there are players out there who that kind of stuff really speaks to. So I wonder how that all fits in. Or look, maybe he wants to go to Toronto and play with Vlad Jr. at least for a year and become, the most famous and best baseball player in an entire country. Oh man, can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine 1,000 across the board and on base percentage, and it would just be ridiculous. Well, the first thing they need to do, in my mind, and I know this has been a topic following that nightmarish inning in the World Series clincher for LA, where the Yankees just were abysmal in the field and let a game get away there. They're not a good fundamental team. And I know that Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone have pushed back a little bit on that, and that's fine. I know they're defending the flag there, and I get it. But I don't think that they can feel in their heart of hearts that they're anything more than a poor fundamental team. I know the fifth inning of the Dodger game in Game 5 was not an example of the usual culprits on the Yankees doing poor fundamental things. I mean, Aaron Judge is a good outfielder. He dropped a fly ball. Anthony Volpe is a good defensive shortstop, and he made a poor throw. I don't know what happened on Rizzo and Cole at first base, but whatever. We don't need to dissect each thing. But throughout this, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But throughout the season, they made it pretty clear that that kind of bungling was in their DNA. It hurt them earlier in the World Series, and it was obvious. And so that was a thread throughout the entire 2024 year. It's something that has to change. Part of it, and I don't mean this as a slam at Aaron Judge. I wonder if they would be better with him out of center field, just because the wear and tear on him would be less. He's already an incredible offensive player, and he's a very, very good outfielder. I mean, it's almost like an awful circumstance for him that he dropped that fly ball, because people are going to have that in their heads. But he's really a terrific outfielder. Anyway, that's where they've got to get better at first, to me. They've got to tighten up their defense. They've got to tighten up. They're in a terrible base running team as well. A lot of the metrics show that pretty plainly. They've got to clean that sort of stuff up. There's a lot going on with them. They need to retool the bullpen. They've got some free agents there. They need to figure out where does Jazz Chisholm play? Second base, third base, and if he's not whichever one he's not at, who plays at the other one? Um, Willie Adames to me comes to mind as a potential third baseman for them. But all of this is connected, and this certainly goes for the Yankees. Connected back to where does Juan Soto sign? Because yeah, I mean, it certainly would be convenient for the Yankees and Mets and everyone else involved if Soto signed before the winter meetings. I don't think that's going to happen, but certainly that would be, but you'd be able to clear your business on what needs to happen based on where he goes and where your money can be allocated and all that sort of stuff. The Yankees actually have starting pitching. They actually could make a trade off of their rotation. Now that Cole is back with that whole option thing being taken care of. So, look, to me, they've got to figure out first base. If they sign Juan Soto, do they then play young players at some of the open positions? Like, is Ben Rice the first baseman by default? Is Oswald Peraza does he come up to take second base or third base? Because the Yankees have just laid out, and I'll just throw out my imaginary figure, $700 million on Juan Soto. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm starting at. I mean, who knows? But we'll find out soon enough. But yeah, they have some work to do. I think they can be a really good team again next year if they get Juan Soto back, and I think they could be a really good team even if Juan Soto signs elsewhere. Big time. Sure, absolutely. That would be, to me, that would be a scenario where Soto wasn't on the team. And I think if he's the first baseman for the Mets, Soto probably isn't on the team, on the Mets then. But yeah, there's a lot going on there with Pete. And, I think timing wise, he's tied to Soto a little bit too, just because, he's going to be a big expenditure, not nearly as big, but he's still going to be pricey, and rightfully so. And I like the observation you made about how Met fans sort of came back to Pete after his clutch homers in the postseason. I think that really did a lot to sort of wake Met fans up a little bit to like, wow, Pete could be gone, but we kind of like having Pete around. I mean, he's hit a lot of home runs since he's been here, and I think there was a real, Pete did not have a good platform year. I know he was one of, I can't remember exactly how many people hit 30 homers this year. It's not that many, but he's one of them certainly, and he's got crazy power. But it wasn't like he didn't go out and wreck 50 homers and make everybody have put them atop their wish list. So I think it sort of, toward the end of the season, Met fans were like, yeah, we could make it without Pete. Fine, move Vientos to first, and we'll get a third baseman. And there is money really has nothing to do with this one. All 30 teams can afford them because it's only what they can pay in their international bonus pool, and there are restrictions on that. Yes, because they're not only are they the richest teams, they are generally pretty darn smart too, and you have to be if you're not even the Marlins should be pursuing this guy because literally it's not like he's going to whoever gives him the most money because there's just not that much money. This is like when Ohtani came over here and he picked the Angels. It wasn't because the Angels could pay him $300 million. It's not going to be that kind of transaction. This is Ohtani. It's not Yamamoto from last year. So he's not going to be getting a gigantic contract. It's only what's left in these teams' international bonus pools. Now, it's complex because if they could reset for the 2015 class, then there are teams who would have as much as $7 million to give him as a bonus. Right now on the 2024 number, the Dodgers have the most, and it's something like 2.7 million. So this is all about fit, comfort, where he thinks he can develop best. Who he thinks he has a chance to win with immediately. I mean, the Dodgers are very compelling considering they're loaded and will spend on the rest of the team, and they just won the World Series, and they have two Japanese superstars who are obviously thriving there. Yu Darvish, he is apparently very close with Sasaki, and so the Padres loom as a potential here, as well as do the Mets and Yankees. But 23-year-old guys who throw 102 and have already succeeded at an enormous professional level in another country don't come on the market that often, which is why every team ought to be involved in this and looking hard, and the Mets and Yankees are going to be right at the forefront. A lot going on. Absolutely.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic...
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,500 families, raising over $43 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $6,700 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 76 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and
Great hearing from you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about this game.
To both schools, and tell me how you were able to combine with Castleton in coming up with this game and the trophy you guys are going to be playing for on Saturday.
Yeah, really, when the tragedy happened, the first thing I always think about is how do we make sure that we're continuing to honor Sean, who had coached for us for 2 years, and do whatever we can to extend his memory and make sure that he's not forgotten in a lot of ways. And really, it was just an idea I came up with, to be honest. I was like, I knew he had played at Castleton. I knew he was part of the original team there. And then I knew that he also obviously coached with us. And I had played I've been involved in a couple of these cup kind of games. When I was at my last school, Otterbein University, we used to play Heidelberg University for the Rhine River Cup. And I knew that these games, and you see it in the Big Ten, you see it all over the country. And it just adds more significance to a game. Kids enjoy playing for these, but also is a way to kind of combine that with honoring Sean and really keeping his memory alive as long as we can continue to do this series.
What kind of coach, player, and person was Sean?
Well, he's definitely a player's coach. Our guys still talk about Sean. Not only was he great in the coaching staff, he was a great teammate as a coach. But he was a guy that really was committed to coaching college football, was going to do it for a living, and really had a high football IQ as far as the coaching part, but really was really good with our players too. Our players gravitated to him and loved playing for him.
And this is going to be a fun afternoon because it's going to, like you mentioned before, it's going to be like a bowl game. You're playing for a trophy, and there's a lot on the line, for both teams, especially for your team trying to get into the playoffs. So this is going to really be a fun atmosphere with the trophy, and also you're going to have a player of the game for each team as part of this on Saturday. And I can't imagine how much the rest of the coaches and the players are looking forward to this.
Yeah, I know us as coaches and our seniors who played for Sean. Have a lot. This is a super meaningful game, like super meaningful. But their head coach at Castleton played with Sean as a player on his team at Castleton and stuff like that. So I know it's going to be a super meaningful game for them also. So just an interesting game. It's going to be super emotional for a lot of our guys and our coaches and stuff like that. So there's a lot of meaning to this game, and we're super excited to play for it. Obviously we're playing for the ability to play in the postseason also. But this is above that, to be honest. This means more to us than anything.
And I know that there's efforts to raise money for the Sean Salisbury Scholarship at his foundation, so I'm sure there'll be some funds raised as a result of this game. But how else could people help if they want to make a donation to that, to the foundation in his name?
Well, probably the easiest way that the average person could just go onto Facebook, look up the Sean Salisbury Foundation. And there's a link on there that donates to the nonprofit created by his parents. So there'll be stuff at the game. There'll be something in the lobby where you can use a QR code to donate, stuff like that. But anything, obviously, his parents are tremendous. They're a big fan of both Castleton football program and the Western Connecticut football program. And they've done a tremendous job. There's a softball game in the summer, actually, that raises money. It actually was the Western Connecticut coaches against these Castleton coaches this summer in a softball game.
Who won?
Who won? Of course we won. Because once again, that was a meaningful game for us as coaches. And And so we were excited to play in that game, just as excited to play in this game this summer or this Saturday.
We're talking to WestConn head football coach Joe Loth here on Sports Bash as WestConn takes on Castleton on Saturday at 2 o'clock in the Sean Salisbury Memorial Game, and they play for a trophy, and which should be a wonderful atmosphere at the WAC on Saturday. And for you guys, obviously it's a huge game, 7-2 coming in. It's been a terrific season, and you mentioned before the computer is going to decide the top 40 teams that are going to go to the playoffs. Tell us about the game this coming Saturday, and what you expect as far as on the field between the White Lions.
Yeah, like I said, it's an important game. If we don't make the NCAA playoffs, we'll have the opportunity to play in a bowl game also. So really, we've got to win to have an opportunity for either of those things. And we're playing a hard-nosed, hard-working Castleton State team that has had a couple of really big wins this year. They remind us a lot of Plymouth State on film, which is kind of those gritty guys that really going to play from the beginning of the whistle to the end of the whistle. So we know we got to come out and play our best game. We know we got to start fast. We know we're going to be great on special teams, all those things that you need to do to win football games. And ultimately, it starts with turnovers. We got to make sure we're hanging on to the football.
You guys beat Framingham this past Saturday, 76-18. And one of the neat moments in that game was when your kicker, a Long Island kid from Smithtown East, Anthony Weedman, hit an extra point, and with that became the school's all-time leading scorer. It was a great celebration. The players on the field were going nuts. The fans in the stands were going crazy. And just for you, you coached him his whole time at WestConn. What kind of a moment was that for you on Saturday?
That was great because Anthony's a great kid. And we have over 50 Long Island guys on our team. So we are a New York City-based team, a bunch of New York City kids, Long Island guys, Hudson Valley guys. And really, to be able to coach Anthony, who came back for his fifth year to play for us, for him to break the school record. He's a great kid. He's great in the weight room. He's great in the classroom. Going to be great in life. It's the joy of coaching when you have the ability to coach kids like Anthony Weedman.
Long Island is very important to you, and I know that, and you mentioned over 50 players on the team are from Long Island, and it's interesting because here on the island, there's U.S. Merchant Marine Academy as far as a Division III school, and there really isn't anything other than that here on the island, and kids who are looking for a Division III football school, and a lot of them, go to the the Cortlands and the Buffalo States and places like that. But the hidden gem there is your school in WestConn, very, very close, an hour and a half away from some places on Long Island, and I would imagine that is a very, very important part of your recruiting process, is looking for the best players here on Long Island.
Yeah, without a question. Our starting quarterback's a kid named John Giller from Massapequa. We have so many Long Island guys, and for us, recruiting pitch-wise, we're an hour and 20, 2 hours at the most for Long Island guys. I know for them to go upstate, Brockport, Cortland, all those schools, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So really the kids that really want to stay close to home, want to win a bunch of football games, be competitive, play for the postseason, we offer a lot. And probably the best thing we have is we have in-state tuition for New York City kids, which makes it a super affordable place. Great value, but also great facilities, and like I said, haven't had a losing year since 2012. So we're gonna win some football games too.
I'll tell you, your special teams room, that's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, really. We have our returner. I think Serge, who is a step-in-at kid, is third in the nation in punt returns, and Anthony's a great kicker, great punter. Special teams have been a key for us. It's going to be a key for us on Saturday too.
I have to ask you a question because, listen, just to be completely transparent, people who watch the show know this, and people that follow me on my other platforms know my son Bradley is a freshman on your football team, a student athlete at WestConn, and I don't know if he followed through on this homework assignment that I gave him at the beginning of the year, but I know that you're a big Cleveland Browns fan. And I have to ask the question, I don't know if Bradley followed through on this, but have you seen the movie Draft Day?
I have seen. That's our last NFL championship, actually.
Well, I have to. So Bradley and I watched that movie We've watched it just about every year right before the NFL draft, and all we do sometimes is we're having a conversation about something, and we just go back and forth with quotes from the movie. So I just wanted to make sure that he brought that up to you.
Yeah, he did bring that up, but luckily we have our Cavs and our Guardians or Indians, because the Browns will break our hearts every year. Not that the Cavs and Indians won't break our hearts, but the Browns will definitely break our hearts in Cleveland more than anything.
Absolutely. And just want to make sure he's been behaving, right?
Yes, he's been behaving. He's done a great job. He's a starting short snapper is a true freshman, so he's come in and done a great job for us. And part of Anthony's success, obviously, is the operation of snap to kick, and we do a really good job with that.
Okay, you made me pretty happy, and my wife pretty happy. I just want to leave you with one more thing, because I have to ask you some coaching advice. My younger son, Jared, is coaching flag football this year, and he has his team in the Super Bowl on Sunday morning. So as someone like yourself who has coached in a lot of big games, any advice for Jared in getting his team ready to play in the Super Bowl on Sunday morning?
Well, I assume if they're in the Super Bowl, he has to do nothing to get them ready to motivate them to play. And the biggest mistake a lot of coaches make is changing too many things for a big game. I'd say just do what you're doing. Kids are going to be ready to play if it's that big of a game, and not overthink it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending some time on the show. And this is going to be a terrific event on Saturday, Westcott and Castleton, with a great trophy on the line in the memory of Sean Salisbury, and looking forward to being there for the game, and see you on Saturday.
Yeah, see you on Saturday. Once again, appreciate you helping us promote this great game.
Awesome. Joe Locke, the head football coach at Western Connecticut State, with that big game coming up on Saturday and a chance for the Wolves to knock on the door for a playoff spot, and if that doesn't happen, even with that win on Saturday, an invitation to a Division III bowl game, that could be in the offering for them as well. We'll find out more about that on Saturday night, and maybe even into Sunday. So good luck to the Wolves on Saturday against Castleton. It is time for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, presented by Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles, located at 124 South Long Beach Road in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. They are also available for charity auctions. Give Warren a call at 516-826-4000. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. And today's question is, what team will Japanese pitcher Roku Sasaki sign with this offseason? And there's four choices: the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, and other. Comment below. And again, I plead with the viewers of this program that when I do a poll question and I say other, comment below. Don't just check off comment and leave everything blank. You actually have to comment on the show. I mean, it's as simple as that. So Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, or other, comment below, and we'll see what the results are on the program. We're going to go to the phone lines. Who do we got? We got Glenn. Glenn from Flushing is on the line. Glenn, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Pete? I came in a little late, so I'm going to have to rewatch the interview with, was it Chris McCarron?
Anthony McCarron.
Anthony McCarron. I'm sorry.
What's the matter? Your SNY subscription run out that you didn't know who it was?
Yeah, just a little mixed up. I had seen yesterday, before I get to our Division III football talk, I had seen a probable lineup. You see those all the time. And they had Vientos batting third, playing first base next year, with Brett Beatty. He's one of our favorites in my house because he signed autographs when he first came up. But I wonder, did he touch on that about Brett Beatty and the possibility of him getting a good look at and maybe starting again next year at third base?
No, we didn't get into Beatty. We talked a lot about Juan Soto and where he's going to go and what moves the Yankees might make, and we also talked a little Pete Alonso, and obviously, Met fans' feelings on him swung a little bit in the postseason. You're a huge Met fan. You want Pete Alonso back?
You know what? I just keep thinking we have the richest owner in sports. That would be a heck of a lineup. With Soto, obviously, it would make everything just stronger at every, you always got to pitch around somebody, and, similar to the Yankees with Judge, Stanton, Soto. Why not? I don't have a problem with bringing Alonso back, just because, of course, he was a born and bred Met. So I would love to see it, but I realize it's possibly. I'm sure the chances are low at this point.
Yeah,
Well,
especially if they sign Soto, I don't think they'll have enough money left over for Pete. And I think that this is what I think is going to happen. I think if Soto goes to the Mets, I think Pete Alonso's in pinstripes next year playing first base for the Yankees.
That would be interesting. Now, congratulations with your son and his success at WestCon. And I learned some things today about the New York City kids get in-state tuition.
Yes.
That's something to think about for me down the line.
Are you going back to college? Are you going back to college?
I think I'm going to go do it. I love you. I love it so much the first time. But is that for Long Island kids too, or is that just? It sounded like you said
it's for New York, and I'm pretty sure it's for New York and New Jersey too. I think that recruiting pitch is done, but they have a lot of Long Island kids on that team, over 50 of them. And again, they actually joke around sometimes, and they call WestCon SUNY Connecticut.
Right. that makes sense. Now, I have to say, my son, obviously, my older son, he doesn't play football, but we're big followers of the Cortland team. Peter, they have the longest winning streak in any level of college football at this point. They won a thriller last week at Brockport, and talking about the Cortland Red Dragons.
Yeah.
They have their big Cortica Cup this weekend at home against Ithaca.
Yes.
They should be a big favorite, and
I think from what I understand, Glenn, from what I understand about the power rankings, the way this works is it has to do it's like a cumulative thing, if I said that correctly, with the power points and strength of record. And it sounds like to me that WestCon can be aided if Ithaca beats Cortland, because then if Cortland loses a game, it affects other teams that they lost to during the course of the season. I'm not smart enough to understand how that all works. I just want to make sure that not only this week, but we get one more WestCon Wolves football game next week as well.
Well, I wish you best of luck, but I can't root for against Cortland. But
I understand that, but just because we can't agree on that doesn't mean we can't still be friends.
Oh, yes. I hope Cortland plays WestCon in the future, maybe. That would be nice.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how that all plays out. Thank you very much, Glenn, for the call.
All right, Pete. All the best. Take care.
Thank you. You too. I know we're running a little overtime. Tony says fine, but I do want to address, we are aware that there was an audio issue on the program that we believe now has been fixed. So
it is not only fixed, but I did record it on the Zoom, so we will repost the video later with all the audio.
All the audio. So if you missed any part of my loudmouth on the program, as soon as we're done, a new version of the show will be reposted on the Governor's Comedy Club YouTube page, and subsequently on the Sports Bash Media YouTube page a little bit later on.
And it was just during the Zoom call. So, when you had the guys here in the studio, everything was fine, and everything's been fine since.
And we'll have that corrected again. If you want to watch the replay, everything will be perfectly. I do want to get to some comments that were made earlier in the show. I'm going on the YouTube chat. Jake Kristen said Stingrays for life, and we loved having the guys from the Suffolk County Stingrays in the show. Of course, my son Bradley had to poke his nose into our business here, and he did know, of course, that my sweatshirt was the New York, New Jersey Hitmen of the XFL. But here's where you were wrong, buddy. You said 2002. It was 2001. But you were right. It was New York, New Jersey Hitmen, but it was 2001, not 2002. And thanks to Glenn for calling in. I have to tie up some other business. I do want to also mention, in light of the audio problem, we do love our sponsors here on the program, and we would love to have more sponsors join the Sports Bash media family. So we have posted some information on the screen right now. If you would like more information about becoming a sponsor of Sports Bash, you can email me at peter@sportsbashmedia.com. We've got a couple of great packages that you could choose from if you are a business here on Long Island or in the area. Again, really, it's not just Long Island, it's all over the place. We're on YouTube, so you can you don't have to be on Long Island to be a sponsor of Sports Bash. So check out the information we've got on the screen, and send us an email if you are interested in becoming a sponsor. Let me tell you what's coming up next week on the show. On Tuesday, I'm going to be joined by Axia Times founder John Canaris. Axia just unveiled its first batch of 2024 college football playoff designs. Only the field of 12 teams will reach production for that watch. John is a Long Island native, played lacrosse for Baldwin High School and the University of Pennsylvania, so we will have that on Tuesday. And we just found out about this before we went on the air, literally minutes before we went on the air. We have booked a great guest. Now, the week of Thanksgiving, as of right now, we only have one show the week of Thanksgiving. It will not be on a Tuesday, and it will not be on the Thursday because Thursday is Thanksgiving. As of right now, we are only doing a show that week on Wednesday. We are negotiating with Tony to do a show on Monday that week. We have to have our lawyers are going to have to talk to his lawyers, and if we can figure it out, we'll have a show that Monday as well. But right now, the only show Thanksgiving week is going to be on Wednesday, November 27th at 1 o'clock. Just found out before the show, via Zoom that day on the show, will be one of the great musicians to ever come out of Long Island. He is a member of Billy Joel's band, and of course, you know him from his years and years of, it was first Big Shot, now it's Mike Del Giudice in Big Shot. Mike Del Giudice is going to be our special guest on November 27th, so we're looking forward to talking to him about music, his own music. Yes, the cast of thousands watching here at Governor's Comedy Club are in approval of that. We'll talk to him about his career, playing with Billy Joel, the end of the residency, but Billy continuing to tour as well. So we are looking forward to that on November 27th. That will do it for this edition of Sports Bash, and it was a busy one presented by TicketBash.com. Thanks to my guests Eric Boyd and Danielle Marshall from the Suffolk County Stingrays, SNY contributor Anthony McCarron, and WestCon head football coach Joe Loth. Also thanks to Tony Walker and everyone here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Sports Bash is presented by TicketBash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Living Legends Memorabilia in Rockville Center, by Bearcat Billing Service, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and Collaborative Studios. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching and listening. Sports Bash returns this coming Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everyone. Go WestCon Wolves on Saturday.